is a part of the human evolution, right? There's nothing to be all pissed off and depressed and miserable about and angry and It's worth being motivated about, though. Like you've never been motivated about anything else in your life.
Sweet bitches, here we go. Here we go again. We're sober. I just realized that. We should probably do something to stop that while we're doing the podcast.
This video is for cop watchers. Now, I make it acknowledging up front that I've only cop watched like 3 times in my whole life, okay? I don't live in a big city. I don't get the traffic on the scanner. I don't come across the stops that everyone else does. And so as you can see from my channel, my fight was taken into the courtroom. And over the course of the last year, I'm speaking directly to every cop watcher on YouTube who has a channel, who is heavily invested in the cause of freeing ourselves from the powers that shouldn't be, right? Authority, this corrupt, illogical, unreasonable, unethical, irrational thing we call a government. I don't know how to say this more sincerely or more direct. I'm staring at a camera lens to get this message across. You're missing a critical component in your struggle. And I say this humbly. I say this as a student, someone who has learned this thing that I think you're missing over the past year. This thing that I think you're missing is the ability to disrupt their proceedings with logic and ethics via the Socratic method in court after you're arrested. Every cop watcher watching this knows the dangers out there on the street, the physical dangers on the street. But if you get arrested and then you end up in court, unless you're coming from a place that sees the whole hustle and can call it out for exactly what it is, directly, confidently, quickly, so simply, very easily, relatively, you're missing out on the effectiveness that we can have in a unified way, like solidarity, right? So what am I talking about, this method? And the Socratic method? All it is, right, is a method of investigation, just like the scientific method everyone's familiar with, right? The Socratic method has a goal, and that is to arrive at a place of truth agreed upon by 2 or more parties, hopefully. Doesn't always happen. It is a way of allowing the opposing side to state their claim, make their assertion, and then we question the logic and ethics of it to point out the contradictions in their statements, and if necessary, embarrass and humiliate them for it stubbornly and corruptly adhering to their bullshit. Now, I don't know how this sounds or how it's coming off, but it doesn't matter. I'm trying to keep this short. There's a guy named Lysander Spooner, right? Born in like 1803 or something like that. Erased from the history books. Major impact on the cause of anarchy and freedom in this country. Right after, all this late 18th century Constitution stuff got written down and implemented, right? Lysander Spooner, he's top shelf. Tier 1, I don't know of any better influence in this day and age for this country right now than the reading and writings of Lysander Spooner. Starting with the Constitution of No Authority. Now let me speak very directly to cop watchers again, without being confrontational. Everybody goes through this evolution, right? I went through the evolution too, research, and you come across like Carl Miller, a stud on YouTube, right? But he was all Constitution, all right? May I just propose that you spend some time zooming out? You're so good at researching already as it is, or you wouldn't be a cop watcher in the first place. May I suggest you just zoom out a little bit on the court aspect of after you get arrested? Because you're really good at before you get arrested. But then you show up in court after you get arrested, and my friends and I, who are extremely effective in court and cop watching, are listening to the words that are coming out of your mouth and it's got all this stuff mixed in it that you can't defend verbally if I were to press you on the issue for you to clarify exactly what you mean via definitions of the words that you choose to speak, to defend and describe your position. I don't have to make a claim here without evidence. My entire YouTube channel is evidence. I'm about to release 4 more straight court hearings, no commentary. All right, I'm getting the message from more and more commenters. My commentary contributions have been made, and those are there to listen to and hear, and go over and challenge or agree with, or whatever you want to do with them. I don't care, but they're there. I've done enough of them where the foundation should be there for anybody to listen to and get. I'm going to have interviews with the participants in the courtroom. They're all my friends. I've known them all for several months at least, online, talking on a weekly, if not daily basis. Interviews with them, and then after that I'll just play the hearing. And my channel is the Socratic method and the corruption of the government. You combine those two things together and you get the end of them. And they know it. If you don't know it, you don't know what scares them the most. Because anarchy is not chaos. That's propaganda bullshit. Anarchy is not violence. Anarchy is peaceful, loving society built on logic, ethics, and actual reality, with a willingness to engage in lethal self-defense if required, if threatened. I'm not talking about this because of me and my ego, and I'm tired of putting up with this shit. I got a kid. Do you have a kid? Anybody with a kid who had parents who totally failed them in explaining anything to them or fighting for any kind of a better future for them? Are you not programmed that way? Do you want your children to grow up and have to deal with what you're growing up with? It's beyond brutal. It's beyond violent. It's insane. Police is just one component of it, and the justice system is one component of it. Education, medicine, economic. Your relationships, those are affected greatly by the government. We want this freedom for our kids, right? I get it why people don't want to do it because it's scary. But I just don't understand. It doesn't compute my brain how the overall American level of dealing with this is so cowardly. Cowardly. I get it. Strongest, brutal superpower on the whole world, planet, monopolizing everything, and just trickle, slowly, they just take it from it. But where's the line? Where's the line? Is it Child Protective Services coming and kidnapping your kids because you don't want to have them educated, indoctrinated in a government school? You'd rather homeschool them? Would you like to be threatened with jail and prison and everything stolen from you and all this permanent, even an international record can be created that will haunt you the rest of your life because you want to pick up a leaf, dry it, and smoke it? And it's doing nothing but good things for you as far as you're concerned. We're all adults and can manage our own lives, right? Anything is too much in excess, but moderation. I don't know what more there is to say, right? There's so much more that could be said. Cops getting away with murder, right? Props to Colin fucking Kaepernick, baby. The first I've ever heard of a major celebrity risking his status, his pay, his reputation, his future on taking a position, and he's the first and only one. That's courage. That's intelligence. I'll never root against that mofo again. San Francisco's a badass town too. Man, that was so good to see. And I know it's a tiny thing, but the tiny things are just, at least it's a thing in a place that had no thing before. Let me get back on track. I'm rambling. The Socratic method and taking it to court is what the cop watch movement needs to reach the next level of effectiveness. And when I say that, I mean not only embarrassing and humiliating judges, clerks, administrative assistants, bailiffs, and all lawyers. That's only half of it. with the public watching. The public watching is where the power is. I'm not making these claims based on nothing. Anyone who wants to talk to me or ask me questions to the nth degree about it, I've got all the experience, not just my own, but through others, and the proof, the evidence, the recording, that this is the most effective thing. How do I know that? Because it causes the most fear and panic in our opposition. Straight up. These next 4 recordings, we're getting, as a group, better and better and better and more and more and more effective, which means that the gun at the end of their justice system, that's always there at the end if you dig far enough, the gun that's there is getting exposed in ways that it never has before. And courtrooms are scrambling. Phone calls are being made. People have gone in and gotten out of jail. I know I haven't been busy on this channel the last few months. Alright? I've been working. I'm making progress. I am the proud owner of a pre-charged pneumatic air rifle. And I'm going to be putting that motherfucker on remote control servos and learning to shoot. Because that's a skill that every man needs in a world as insane as this. To know how to shoot a rifle. And to do it with remote control from thousands of miles away. Their jurisdictional argument is not going to hold water much longer. Now that's if we aren't able to turn this thing around with words, but do you really feel in your heart of hearts that they're going to give up their power via words? With the amount of momentum, the inertia behind this country's history? Nobody's angry. Just because I'm not angry, I'm gonna go. I'm preparing. I feel safe, and I'm able to feel peace and contentment and live a chill life in Hawaii because I'm preparing. Because I carry live stream cameras in my car at all times. Because I'm ready to document anything at all times. Because I know how to defend myself and I'm willing to do it. The world is ruled by those who are most willing to engage in violence. And until we support those who are also willing to engage in self-defense to confront those violence users, how are we ever going to know this thing called freedom in all the different forms that I've mentioned? The Socratic method. Holler at this name on Skype. Skype Joe 808. We have, through a lot of planning, constructed an elite all-star team of people who are more than willing for free and with their time off to talk to any cop watchers on YouTube who have a channel, learn very quickly about this Socratic method and how to use it in court. Yes, you can see and listen to what I've been doing on the channel in those recordings, but unless you're able to challenge us with whatever question you want, if my answers or our answers don't meet your own innate sense of logic and ethics, not mine, not ours, yours. I rely on your common sense as a human being. If I can't give you answers that satisfy that, then give me the middle finger and go laugh, tell me to screw myself. But I'm telling you that this holds water. It's not about being a sovereign citizen. It's not about being a constitutionalist. It's about making no claims at all. Keep your personal beliefs and your politics at home and with your kids. Keep them out of the courtroom because that allows their lawyers, piranhas, to attack. So just keep it out. It's not gaining you anything. You're not winning anything because you say, oh, we're out of the Constitution and you're doing wrong. All you have to do is clarify their own assertions. They can't handle the heat. Every single time I have helped anyone, and I could have people chime in here, make a video about people I've helped in local courts and faraway courts, do this. Not a one of them said, oh, that's bullshit. And not a one of them learned it and then said, nah, there's something better. Not a one. This is the end of the road. Why do you think Socrates' message lasted for for what, 2,400 years? He was the first person to say 1 + 1 is 2. It's not 3. It's fucking 2. And we do the same thing in court today. And it's so easy. I mean, it's such an invaluable skill to have. I'm all yelling and blah, 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 right? It's such an invaluable skill to have in one's life that once you have it, you're like, damn, why did I have to go the whole rest of my life without this? Because they keep this shit out of the school. You don't know it. Nobody's out there teaching. Even out of college. I have a bachelor's degree and I never heard this. And I took philosophy. Logic and ethics spell the end of your oppression. Collectively. This is possible. Now I say all this, but just know, you're looking at a guy who's planning on moving to Acapulco, Mexico at some point next year. Because I'm not going to jail for this American population. You're not worth it, sorry. Overall, you're just a bunch of cowards who don't want to face anything that's a little too uncomfortable. You just want to skirt by in your little status life, pay your taxes, and judge others. I'd rather live in a country where there is no problem with unity or solidarity. Oh, everyone's already aware of who the true enemy is, and they come together and cooperate, more or less. It's not a perfect world, but it sure as hell gets a lot better than this one. Everybody thinks, oh, it's America, oh, you're a spoiled brat, it affords you all these freedoms. You know what? It does. In a world of barbarians, it does provide a lot. However, it's not even meeting the very standards of common decency and normalcy, obviously. You don't get credit because you're so much better than North Korea. You don't even get credit for meeting the standard of normal. You get credit for meeting the standard of exceptional. And this country is nowhere near that. By collectively going into the courts and asking, has the prosecutor submitted any evidence that satisfies the element of jurisdiction, yes or no? You will quickly find out whether I'm talking the truth or bullshit. Go in front of your courthouse, grab a bullhorn and have fun with it. Get some friends, flirt, make some comments, make some jokes. Don't take life too seriously, but have that fucking sign that says, has the prosecution submitted any evidence that satisfies the element of jurisdiction? Now I know you may not know what the hell that means or what I'm talking about. But every fiber of my being and my now 40 years on this planet, my college degree and everything I've learned online since, every bit of life experience I've ever had, and the success I've enjoyed in the last year since I've learned this, have proven to me, without a single fail, that this is the shit. So, cop watchers, if you get arrested, you need to know this stuff. If you don't get arrested, you need to know this stuff. In your interactions with the police where you're embarrassing them and humiliating them already, you're doing great. You could be doing even better. Phenomenally better. Cop watchers on YouTube are leading this cause, and I am not one of them. Like I said, I've only been cop watching 3 times. Okay? I'm not leading anything. I'm not even the bravest. There's some guys in Florida, Texas, California, man. Ricky Monday, Tom Zebra, that awesome, badass, Batto, I forgot how to spell his name, and black guy in Texas. We got people in Florida. And I don't even know, over the Midwest. I mean, we got cop watchers just springing up everywhere. Obviously here in Hawaii. You gotta know how to deal in court. You gotta know the Socratic method. You gotta know that the Constitution is full of shit. It's a contract you didn't sign and are not bound to. It's been manipulated and twisted into what controls your children. I mean, this controlled your parents when they were children. The reason why you were raised the way you were in ways you may not like is because a lot of this is because of this. They don't give a fuck about the 99%. The elite are just getting more and more and more and more and more rich. Anybody who knows the basics about history sees this everywhere. This is a part of the human evolution, right? There's nothing to be all pissed off and depressed and miserable about, and angry and It's worth being motivated about, though. Like you've never been motivated about anything else in your life. So, The Socratic method, man. Get up on it. I can't wait to see cop watching videos with people exercising and flexing Socrates in front of cops and judges in courtrooms. More and more and more and more. Every non-violent victimless crime needs to go out the window, and it will as quickly as possible. If everyone's going in there and refusing to pay these stupid fines, you're just paying for your own oppression. You're paying for them to do it to you tomorrow, and not submitting to their jurisdiction. Challenge it. Jurisdiction is nothing but a blanket assertion of power. I rule over you, I have power over you just because I said so, motherfucker. That's jurisdiction. Now, it's supposed to be backed by evidence. That's part of jurisdiction. But they've just twisted it into, it's just an illusion, it's a fraud. They don't have jurisdiction. I can't even use the word jurisdiction with what they're doing. They're just bullies, right? I'm stating the obvious here, I'm singing to the choir. But it's all for cop watchers getting on the Socratic method. So, my channel isn't sanctioned anymore, it hasn't been for a while. I'm going to be more active. I'm doing some interviews tonight with these people. I'm going to be releasing their audio and some video that they got from the courtroom as well. That's new. We've got earpieces, we've got watches recording, we've got all kinds of technology I can't even mention. I can't mention everything I could mention here. My enemies watch this shit. I could be mentioning stuff that's going on that would land me in jail. And I can't, because this is public. I mean, all of us are doing stuff that could get us in jail, right? It's not a big deal with the way laws, the way they write them. I'm going to wrap this up. Cop watchers, please, for the love of God, I'll take whatever time. If you got a cop watch channel, man, I'll give you my personal cell phone number. Call me. See if I'm full of bullshit. I am not the owner of this information. I am just passing it along like somebody passed it on to me. Alright? It's just spreading like wildfire. And we now have an elite group of very mature and professional individuals who will walk you through this and practice with you in a role-play scenario, and to watch the evolution happen, to watch the light bulbs go off, to watch people become more and more effective and get more and more confident and more proficient. It gives you a smile that cannot be bought with all of their trillions. It can't. You cannot buy the kind of success and the skills, the experiences that I'm talking about. You can't buy them for any amount of money. They're invaluable. Wealth is so much more than green pieces of paper.